It's finished here at a very wet J Davidson Stadium. Altrincham 2, Aldershot Town 1, and we're speaking to manager Phil Parkinson. Phil, 4 wins on the bounce. You've got to be absolutely delighted with that. I mean, not quite as straightforward maybe as last home game here, but nevertheless takes all sorts of wins, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was never going to be as straightforward as that in terms of the scoreline. As we spoke earlier about, very rare that you get them types of scorelines. If you do, they're to be treasured and enjoyed, but tonight we knew we were going to be in for a real good game. Very energetic team. Tommy's done some really good recruitment this year. I think Stokes has been a real find for them. Young Josh Stokes, real top talent. And then you look at the front ranks. They're all able to beat you man for man. They're all willing to run in behind, receive deep. So we were brave. We stuck to what we believe in as well. We could have had the +1 at the back. We didn't. We went, as I said, toe to toe with them. And I think if you come tonight, paid your money, you got a real entertaining game.
Yeah, Stokes stole in a couple of times, didn't he, with early on, which showed his threat, the way he kind of timed his runs and caused 1 or 2 problems.
No, he did. As I said, he's a good player.
Yeah. So we get our noses in front, and it's kind of typical Chris Clark, really, isn't it? You know, shrugging off one challenge, absolutely coasting clear, and then from where we were, it looks as if he was shaping to try and curl it to the top right corner, but of course that was all part of the deception perhaps, and buried it in the bottom left corner. Yeah,
well, I thought he was outstanding tonight. So was Justin Amaluza for us as well. So obviously his old team. He's been like that all season, so it's not like he's stepping up tonight just because it's Aldershot. But I thought him and Chris were a real thorn in their side. Alex Newby really complements them too. Dior Angus, I felt that was one of the best games Dior's played for us. He deserved a goal tonight, Dior. His link-up play was superb, something that he's been really working on. And like I said, when he's got in the box a couple of times there, he's not got the connection he normally gets, and he'll be desperately disappointed he's not scored tonight.
Well, those 2 chances he had in the first half, which were largely of his own making, the one where he hammered it left foot just wide, and the first one, it almost seemed like he was a slightly heavy touch. He still wanted to get on the end of it, but Alex Newby obviously thought, well, it's perhaps gone beyond you, and he took responsibility. Do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, he'll be disappointed he's not scored.
Yeah. They did kind of give us a warning of what they're about with straight after we scored with that shot that hit the inside of the post. You probably had a good view of it from me. You'd be right in line, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it was Glover. Really good step inside. He was a live wire all night, but I thought Banco, after that moment, really got to grips with him, and I think he kept him quite quiet after that.
Indeed so, yeah. What do you think of the penalty that pegged us back in the second half?
Yeah, it was a penalty. They've managed to they've come through. I think it was the centre half stepping out, which we were very aware of. But again, I say this to our players all the time, an opponent being aware of what you do and stopping you are 2 different things. So they executed one moment that they do really well, and they had a number of moments, by the way, that we had to defend, as they did. But ultimately, he's got across, and it's unfortunate for Elliot that he's just not been able to. He's not his man. He's covering up ground, so Elliot's doing 2 men's jobs, which at times we're asking a midfielder to do. And yeah, it's a penalty. So well, it looked it from where I was. There was no arguments from us. I
just thought the only question might be, was it inside the area or on the edge? It looked close.
Yeah, it's difficult to say. Yeah. So the ref's got a better angle than me, and we've not lost. So I'm not gonna go too crazy about it. But ultimately, I'd sound like sour grapes if we'd lost, and I said that's not a penalty. It looked like it was from where I was standing.
But is that a mark of the Phil Parkinson Altrincham side of this season, that being pegged back like that, chins didn't drop, we came storming back and won the game with a really well worked goal?
Yeah, I think, well, I'd like to think a lot of our goals are really well worked. I said last week, Neil does some excellent work with them on the training pitch, and then patterns of play that you see, that comes from them hours and hours of hard work, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. But ultimately the lads have got to go out and execute it, and when they do, you see them types of goals, and like I said, it's not luck, it's by design. That
I sort of meant in the circumstances as much as anything, Phil, the fact that we'd just been pegged back, and maybe, would we have come back and won it previously?
Yeah, well, I made that point to the players. This time last season we probably don't. Our defence is a lot more robust than it was last year, but that comes from a year of experience. We've stuck with these young lads, and ultimately we're getting the rewards for that now. A lot of people would have tore it up because what did we have, the 4th worst defensive record in the league. We've still got them same players, but they're doing a lot better this year. So sometimes you've got to persevere, develop, watch them improve, be patient, and that's what we've been able to do. And like you said, you're reaping the fruits of that labour right now.
And they aren't they doing that much? But I mean, you've made the point before that you've got 4 centre backs, so that means the 2 are getting picked, kept on their toes. And you know, they're winning everything in the air. They're really giving Ethan a lot of protection, aren't they?
Definitely. Well, look at Jake Cooper. What is he now? 21, 22. Lewis Baines, 24. Chris Conn, 21. We've got a really young, exciting team. And like I said, they're just going from strength to strength. So the extra year of experience they got last time, keeping the group together, the continuity of having that experience last year, and it was tough, and it was uncomfortable at times for the defenders in particular. It's always about the team, but if we're not scoring, the strikers bear the brunt of that. We've always scored, and now the defenders are really stepping up. They're complementing the strikers and the other way around. But it was just about being patient with these lads that we knew were talented. We knew they could do it, and they've really stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, and the one change you made from the last game was Lewis Banks coming back in at right back for Justin Donowa. And how pleasing was it that he delivered on the winning goal? And it was a great combination with Justin Donowa, and then the cross was pinpoint for Alex Newby, wasn't it? So that showed that he can offer something in an attacking sense.
Absolutely. All of our players are recruited under that pretense. They've all got to be able to physically compete. But one of our key talent IDs is being able to handle the ball, and ultimately the best players make the best decisions more often than not. So we're improving on our decision-making processes, and you're seeing that with the decision to cross or pass at the right times. And our lads are a lot more clinical in front of goal than they were this time last season, and our lads in defence are a lot more stingy than they were at this point than last season. So if we can keep that trend, and if we can keep players on the pitch, because everyone can see we're threadbare at the moment, but we're hoping that we'll have a few back in the next couple of weeks, and that's what I'm sort of holding on to. We get them players back, we've kept that togetherness, we've not got a load of new players coming in, but ultimately if we get any more injuries or if I feel we've got to do something, we will. But that's that togetherness, that builds togetherness.
Do you need to keep feet on the ground at all as well? I mean, we're reinforcing that position in the playoffs, and expectations will keep rising, won't they? Yeah,
well listen, expectations are good, and ever since I've been here, I think even when we were part-time, people were telling me we should be in the playoffs, and I knew that was unrealistic. We've gone full-time last year. We showed what potentially we could do with quality players. Not the best in the league in terms of we know we're not up there financially, but we're getting better with that. Everyone can see the investment that's gone into the football club, so it's very rare that you've heard me this season harp on about hardship. I know we've had more investment than we've had previously, but we're certainly not the money bags of this division. We're just trying to step by step gradually improve everything we do from the top to the bottom, and that's why you're seeing them performances, them results on the pitch. It comes from the top to the bottom of everyone being on the same page, pulling in the same direction, and that leads to success. But ultimately, a lot of the time we'll be underdogs in this division. I'm sure that will change at some point with the way the club's going, but right now we'll use that mantra, we'll use that to motivate the players. We don't have everything laid on a silver platter. We have to work for everything when we're at training, when we're here, and we'll continue in that vein.
Yeah, that togetherness that counts for a lot, doesn't it, in the squad of players?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been the cornerstone of everything we've done since we've gone into management, myself and Neil. And we'll always work that way, so we'll never have a team of individuals, because that doesn't get you anywhere. You need talented individuals, but they've all got to be pulling together. And you're seeing that we've got some really good flair. People would class them as flair, sometimes novelty players. I tell you what, they put a shift in for us, so we're getting something right in terms of the lads we're recruiting and the system we play, and we've always managed to do that. So if we can continue in that vein, then hopefully this upward trajectory will keep going. And
just finally, Phil, you'll have even more options as players come back to fitness, and fans are always asking, when so-and-so back, when so-and-so back. Is there any update on any of the lads?
No, a couple of weeks. So a couple of weeks is all I've got for anyone really. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But we're hoping after the Cheshire Senior Cup, the FA Cup, we should be getting some green shoots of people coming back through. So if they have setbacks in training, they have setbacks, and it's a different story then. But yeah, a couple of weeks.
Okay, smashing. That's great stuff, Phil. Thanks for your time. It's been a great evening. 4 wins on the bounce. Always sounds good. That's the thoughts of our manager, Phil Parkinson, on a match that's finished. Altrincham 2, Aldershot Town 1.
Thank you.